Hello Taurus and welcome to my channel Green Light Goddess Tarot. Okay, so this is your weekly reading. Lots happening this week. Mars has moved into Aries, Jupiter's in Aries. There's a lot of sense of wanting to move forward with something, but there's also the new moon that's occurring in Gemini. So there's planting a new seed, and I feel like there's a little bit of food for thought before you step into something. What I got for you as a little image as I was meditating for Taurus was a sense of standing your ground with something. Really important to stand your ground. Yeah, or at least that's what I see you doing. This could be both good and bad depending on how it all kind of shapes up. But we've got Death card, Scorpio, Mars, Pluto, Scorpio, Uranus coming in, and this is your opposite sign energy, the Scorpio energy. So it's sort of saying there's a big shift and change and transition that's happening, even maybe a major ending that's coming on here, that something is deeply going on, which is, it feels like you're culling a whole heap of old debris, a whole heap of old energy that's coming through, and you're finally putting some things to rest. And what I love with this is the Star card, feeling more hopeful for the future, feeling more hopeful after this big final ending. And it feels like quite a long phase, it's something that could have been happening over even years. But the Star card is beautiful. It's the healing is coming out, the light is returning when there was quite a dense and heavy energy with this death energy coming through. So some healing and hope is returned. The Two of Swords. So still not sure. Oh, the Tower. Wow. Okay. The Seven of Swords and the Six of Swords. Wow, you're making a big move here. You're making a big move, moving on from something. Some of you traveling or making plans. Great time to book a trip to go traveling. We've got the High Priestess, though. Trust your intuition. All is being, something very, very significant is being revealed to you this week with the Tower card right in the center. So you feel like there's this sense of being guided to the future with the Star through this, it's like you're being on this, pulled in this direction with the death energy. Is like, boy, you feel like you're transitioning into this future, but there's some unknown and some hesitation about it as well. With the Two of Swords, there's things that you can't see, but anything that you can't see, the High Priestess with the Towers, you are going to see it. Okay, this is still very eclipse-like energy. It still feels relatively unpredictable for you here, Taurus, and we're still kind of, in the eclipse energy that has been in your sign and your opposite sign, Scorpio. So we're kind of seeing this happening, that there's something, a very activated change you're going to see and notice that occurred in that full moon that happened in Scorpio. And like I said, the eclipse energies can activate and they're unpredictable when they're coming in, but you're going to see and notice something really clearly, and it's going to let you know that something is over, that something has transitioned and potentially transformed in your life, and it's going to be like, bzz, okay, now I know. It's almost can be like a revelation or a huge release that's coming through here with this. It's like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. And this means you can now move forward with some plans, potentially an exit strategy of some sort. There's a strategy that you're forming here to move on with the Six of Swords, or to make a big move. So for some of you, you're thinking of moving. You think you're moving house, moving home, or just making a big move and transition in your life. So both this card and the Death card are cards of a big transition and change that's occurring, and the Tower card can be unexpected shifts and changes that occur as well this week. I feel like this is mostly something inside your mind, where if your mind was unsure or not made up, your mind gets made up by something that occurs this week. But it kind of gives you the green light to move forward inside your mind, which is actually really good. And so the Six of Swords is moving towards peace as well, finding peace within a situation. It can also be, like I said, the card of travel. So a great time to kind of book a holiday or make plans around that, or it could be something bigger around just wanting to bring in more freedom where you felt kind of quite restricted. So there is a lot of change around, which can feel uncomfortable for some Taurians, some kind of fixed sign energies, because the other fixed signs are Scorpio, which you're being crowned by, your opposite energy, Leo and Aquarius, and you've got Aquarius here with the Star card as well. But interestingly, the Star is kind of showing you it's divine guidance. This is potentially a wish coming true, this shift in perspective, or this thing that changes, which shifts everything this week. And with the High Priestess, it's like could actually be a very highly intuitive message that comes in, or trust your intuition here. So it does require a little bit of flexibility and malleability rather than not the opposite of that. So yeah, the High Priestess, and this is where I kind of had that original image of you kind of crossing your arms. It was like you were crossing your arms and looking at something, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of change, and sometimes that's a natural resistance to change if it feels like it's like so much happening and shifting. But it does, with the High Priestess coming in, it feels really synchronistic, you know. This it feels like this is meant to be happening, and you kind of been shown something at the exact moment that you needed to see or hear it, or it needed to kind of shift and change. So yeah, kind of interesting. And it may be someone around you that is very important to you, that is, you're seeing a shift and change with them as well. This is the thing. So this could be, you know, your partner, or your best friend, or a very close family member, somebody that's super, super close and important to you. However this is presenting, even if they're on the other side as well, there could be messages coming in from the other side for those of you that have that situation. But it does feel like there is a very highly spiritual and intuitive person or energy around you that is helping kind of guide you, helping you kind of get the right messages that you need to get here. So yeah, kind of fascinating, and very, like I said, revelatory. Is that the word? Like there's revelations. But yeah, let's pull an animal energy and see what's coming in for you here, Taurus, around all of this. So what is Taurus working with? What is Taurus working with? And I kind of expect the unexpected. I mean, you always get that with the Tower card, but it's like something that you thought was heading in a certain direction might shift and change into something entirely different. So the cards are not flipping for you here, Taurus. So let's just pull one and see what comes out. We've got Stingray. Okay, fantastic. Okay, I like this. This is not something that, there's something that's bubbling up from the surface here that it's been there. You've probably been feeling these rumblings. You know, there's the bigger energy of the death, which is a big transition that you've probably been feeling over a very long period of time. This is nothing new for you. And but this energy that's coming up here, that's bubbling up to the surface, it's ready to be seen now. It's ready to be looked at. And interestingly, this is a little cheeky stingray for me. It looks like he's got this little smile, this cheeky little smile, but it's also an energy of, if you don't align with some of these energies, even doing chakra balancing and aligning would be really great for you this week, Taurus. If you can find some kind of meditations around that, or if you know how to do it yourself, just Google it. And that could be something that there is something that's kind of bringing you into this alignment, which shifts and changes everything. And so there's also an energy which is around like a spiritual teacher, which is kind of keeping you to that alignment, is not wanting you to step off that path, which is interesting. So the stingray, I actually got to pat some stingrays the other day, which sounds crazy, but I was at actually it's SeaWorld, which is in Australia, and you can pat this and feed the stingrays, and they feel so different. Like I potentially think that there's a sense of, this is an experience or that is going to kind of feel out of the ordinary to you. It's going to feel like maybe even something you haven't experienced before, and it could be surprising as well. So just to be open and aware that could happen. But it's, there's a lot in it. There's a lot in it. So let's see what's coming in for you as a little take-home message. We've got King of Feathers, logic and justice, and we've got the High Priestess, intuition and sacred knowledge. So you've got the High Priestess coming in twice, which is that your intuition is potentially on fire this week, that it just might be on overload and you might be getting such amazing intuitive messages. Pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to a great week to meditate and do anything like that. It's also a week of a lot of synchronicities, so pay a lot of attention to that and serendipities. But yeah, really trust your intuition and the sacred knowledge that's been gifted to you. And then we've got King of Feathers, logic and justice, which is kind of interesting, these two coming in together, because one's your intuition and one's your mind. You know, how you're using that. When you get that message that comes in through the intuition, then it's saying you need to step into that rational mind of yours where you're applying your logic, you're using that to make a plan and create a strategy to make some decisions about this move. You're being really smart about this as well. So you're kind of using both, which is interesting, because this card, the Two of Swords, can be where you're uncertain because one side you're getting messages from your intuition, the other side there's messages from your logical brain, and then in comes the Tower that just suddenly makes sense of it, and then suddenly you can move forward and go, okay, this is the element of air. I'm using that's both of those together. So it's using both your logical brain and your intuition, and they're working together after this Tower moment comes in. So yeah, and I feel like they're two powerful forces in your life here, Taurus. It's like, boom, it just is an amazing path that it can head you down. So absolutely, I feel like you're moving on, making a big move, and there's a lot that's going on actually. It's a big week for you. So that's it, Taurus. Thanks so much for joining me. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment, and take care.